Greetings and welcome to Metaphysical Awakenings with Barbara
and Eric.
This is episode 14, and today's episode is titled The Journey of a Medium. Who is that medium, you were asking? That would be Barbara.
Oh, hi.
This is an episode that I wanted to do because it's been about, 3-4 weeks since we've last met. And I just kind of wanted to check in with you, how you've been. I know you've been doing some traveling and visiting some family.
Yep.
But before we get there, in case anyone's not sure what a medium is, maybe we can just start with that.
Okay. A medium is one who is able to disassociate my awareness of Barbara, and I can move Barbara aside and allow another to come through and speak through me, or to bring me awarenesses, or to share information, or whatever that case may be. It's very complex, and it's also something that is can be dangerous. And what I mean by that is I always start my mediumship with a prayer to God. I put God in the middle of everything I do. Therefore, I don't have to worry about my vibration falling down and lower to where a lower vibrational entity or being can jump onto me. Now, this is going to be a whole new Oprah show for some of us, but let me just say that it is a constant expanding and growing and breathing, and the more you know, the more you realize you don't know anything. A mediumship is so profound in that it encompasses many different practices, techniques, but most of all, it's the ability for Barbara McGillicuddy to move herself way out the way and let the divine take over and bring through that which is necessary for whomever is in front of me or whatever situation is in need. And that's the way that I roll anyway.
Thank you so much for that explanation, because I'm sure some of us had questions as far as what is this even, what are we even talking about here? So
right.
Before we get into the origins, because I do want to know how it first started, how have your past weeks been? I know you traveled. You went to Spirit Fest, yes?
I did, in Memphis. I drove up to Memphis. And
what is Spirit Fest for those who are unaware?
Spirit Fest is a group of metaphysical people who gather for a fair. It's like a psychic fair. Okay, we have our crystal vendors, we have our astrologers, we have our healers, we have our aura people, we have psychics and tarot readers, and we have mediums, and I'm known as, here we go. I'm known as the pet psychic. And cool. I didn't start as the pet psychic. I'll just tell you real fast how that happened.
Let's hear that.
It's kind of hilarious.
Never heard the story.
Well, to her merit, the woman that runs Spirit Fest doesn't allow somebody to jump in willy-nilly. You have to be tested. And you have to pass her test, or it's a no-go. Okay. So she deals in authenticity. So if you go to a Spirit Fest somewhere, you know these people have been vetted and well. Now, having said that, my first adventure, I was going to lead a class in helping people to understand that we have power animals. And, what is a power animal, and what does that mean? And, my power animal, for example, is this gigantic wolf. It's a dire wolf. It's a beautiful white dire wolf, and it rolls with me everywhere I go and everything I do. And when I go to places that may be not so hot. My dire wolf is very much on key. And so anyway, in teaching people about their power animals, I had a sign that said, "Let me tell you about your power animal." Okay. And this young lady, cute as a button, sits down and she says, "You've come very highly recommended. I hope you can help me." And I'm like, I hope I can too. Have a seat. So she tells me that her dog, that something has gone terribly wrong with the dog, and she's very worried about what's going on. And I'm like, okay, what's the dog's name? So she gave me the dog's name. And immediately I'm with this little dog. It looks kind of like a Sheltie sort of. But the point being, it had these moments of bzz, bzz. That's the only way I knew how to explain it. And I said, it felt like, to me, if I were to put my finger in a light socket, then I would have these, kind of off moments. It's like a
jarring moments.
Yeah, like little seizures, shocking seizures, or whatever that is. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, that's exactly what the vet said. The dog was having seizures. Is this going to continue to happen? Am I going to lose her?" And I'm like, "Oh, no. Let's back up a minute." So I've got the dog right here, and I'm asking if the dog is aware with what's going on, and a lot of the times they are not. So I have to ask for universal truth. And as I did, the truth was there was something this dog had ingested that did not agree with her, and it caused her to have seizures until that passed through her body. Is it going to come back? The answer was no. Is this going to take her life? The answer is still no. So I'm telling this young lady that, and she's getting more and more excited, and she jumps up and she hugs me and she says, thank you. I'm so grateful to you, and da-da-da-da. And this young lady is very well known to me now, and I've been with Spirit Fest for over 2 years now, and I'm constantly asking about her dog, Sadie. How is Sadie? Oh, she's just fine. I follow her on Facebook. Sadie never had another seizure.
Do you know what she ate?
I wanted to say it was something along the line of those toadstool mushrooms outside that she chawed on. Something way off. If you've got toadstool mushroom caps in your yard, get the heck rid of them. They're toxic to animals. Very much so. I mean, there's another... I could go on and on with stories of animals, but...
I never realized that, but now it makes sense. I mean, that animals don't necessarily have the ability to read unless they're a higher consciousness, being that they're a second density being. They don't already have the consciousness of themselves, so for you to be able to read them like that would make sense that maybe they wouldn't be able to necessarily project that without asking for something else to intervene.
Right. It's they don't have all of the answers while they're still in the body. In other words, I need the universal truth to help me to gain what is truly going on.
Well, what do you mean by universal truth?
The God source.
God source, gotcha.
God source. What is truly going on in this animal's body, and its spirit and its soul, and in what's happening here? Is it getting ready to cross over? Is this a disorder that can be fixed? If it is, as a quantum healer, is this something that I can help this animal with? So I mean, it just goes real fast. And if they need more help, my at the festival, I only have 20 minutes with each person.
Okay.
And with saying that, I don't necessarily have to stay with the same animal for all 20 minutes.
Now, do they bring in the animal to you?
Oh, good question. Thank you for that. Sometimes they do, and sometimes that's naughty because animals are not allowed. But I work off of photographs.
Oh, so not always.
Yeah.
Or not.
I work off of pictures, and sometimes I just work off of name and description and age, and bing. Especially if they've crossed over, it's so much easier for them to get their energy through to me, because there's nothing inhibiting them.
So you're saying that you're able to call someone over in New York that's 1,000 miles away and be able to channel their animal?
On this side and on the other side, yeah. Everything is energy. Once you understand what energy is and how to read it and manipulate it, it's just a thing. There's no time discrepancy. There's nothing between here and there. It's just plain information that comes through.
So both on like this side of living and also this side of being on the other side.
Correct. Dogs that have passed and all animals. I can talk. Anyway,
is it easier on one side than the other, or
sometimes it's easier from the other side, to be very honest with you, because they're not distracted by earthly events, and dogs which are on the other side. Think about it being us, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Once we're on the other side, we regain everything that we have known through all of our lifetimes. And we are our light beings again. Well, so are they.
Okay.
Everything that happened to them throughout their eons and their existence is available to them. 1, 2, 3. Animals and people on the earth plane were easily distracted by earthly events.
So this begs the question of reincarnation. Can a dog become a human in the next life, or vice versa? Can a human be a dog in the next life?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I haven't delved into that very honestly. I would hasten a guess to say I haven't had it in my experiences, but if I said no, the next thing that would come up and slap me in the face is a dog who's a human and blah, 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 blah. All things are possible. Okay. All things are absolutely possible. Now, what I have come across, a gentleman that I'm actually mentoring twice a week now, is how often animals are with us throughout each lifetime. An animal that is a soul and a heart animal will reincarnate with us throughout our existences. Meaning,
oh, wow.
The dog that he just lost and was devastated by was a horse in another lifetime. And I saw their whole life. It was a war horse in World War I, and the whole backstory started to come. Now we're going into past lives. I mean, this is so multifaceted that, as a medium or a psychic medium or a healer or whatever you want to put it title, as a medium, I have to go through a lot of different venues of understanding. And I've been working very, very hard since 2007. Take that back, 2004, when my friend, who was a psychic medium, started telling me that I had all of these abilities, and that I would do what she was doing and more. And that's, back when
was she also an animal psychic?
She was a fantastic medium. Yeah, she could.
Medium,
yeah,
yes.
She could do animal. It wouldn't matter, but she did what I do now, and it took her to prove to me that I could do these things. But that's where the book A Walk Through Time came from.
Okay.
Yeah. She started talking to me about a past life, telling me about my name, telling me all of these different things. And of course, I thought she was pretty crazy at the time. But I chose to go through all of this this historical data to just disprove how crazy she was, and I couldn't. I kept getting hit after hit after hit after hit, and it wound up being the most fantastical story. And my awareness of who I was in the 1800s is very much alive with me today as Barbara. And the people in that lifetime, I have a specific person who is with me every single day, especially when I go to cook. And I mean, it's a wonderful world. I don't know. It's fantastical and fabulous. And the more that you seek, the more you will find. And the more that you find, the more you will want to find in this world. So, yeah.
When did this journey begin for you? When did you first know that you had this gift?
At 5.
Oh, early on. Okay.
At the age of 5, but it, like we've spoken about in the past, it landed me in a psychiatrist's office, so I shut it off.
Yes, regression. Yes. That would make totally sense unless you want to be in that doctor's office for the rest of your life. You're just going to be like, I don't hear anything anymore.
No.
I don't see anything anymore.
Exactly. And I mean, one of my missions in this lifetime is about the children who have abilities. Because they're talking to spirits and they're hearing things doesn't mean they need to go on medication, guys. Look at every avenue. Reach out to someone who you may know that can help assist. Is this a malady that needs to be treated, or is this part of who they came over to be and who they used to be? Kids will tell you at the age of 3 and 4, if you ask them, who did you used to be? They'll come out with this whole diatribe. And you'll go, I'm telling you time and again.
For many adults, that brings about a lot of fear.
Oh,
and I'm trying to think why that is. Maybe from like movies or pop culture or...
Reincarnation was taken out of the Bible in the 4th century.
It was in there?
All of the books and the different tribes of Israel and the information back from Atlantis and all of the, even Lemuria, all of that back information was readily available until the 4th century AD. And that was when Constantine created the Council of Nicaea and said there will only be one book.
Decided what was in and what was out.
Exactly. Reincarnation threw out the window. Huh. And so anybody that brought that up, guess what happened to them?
They are a heretic and they're off.
Yeah. If you didn't conform to what the Bible that was presented to them in the 4th century and moving forward, that poor Bible has been so beat up so many times, and the translations and some people taking it so seriously. And I don't want to get into that because people feel very strongly about their religion and their connection to God. That's not for me to tell you. What I will tell you is how I came to be, how I grew, how I expanded, and if you are ready to take the step to understand, let's go.
I'll say it just because this is the second time that's popped up in my mind here. There's that parable in the Bible that Jesus tells as far as a father that the 3 sons, they leave and they go off and then they return, and then the father asks, what have you done? And one son says, I've done a whole bunch, and as a result the father gives him a whole bunch more. And then the middle son does some, and the father gives him some, and the last son says, I did nothing with that time and with your wealth, and the father gives him nothing. And at first I was like, that makes no sense. Shouldn't the father give the person who has the least the most, or the person who has the most the least, because they don't need any extra? But I think what it just shows is that whenever you put that trust and faith into God, into your Father, into wanting to know more, to understand more, to grow more, to do more, then in turn you will be given that much more. And now that maybe we'll see it from the other side of the coin, I'm like, well, no, this is actually fair. The people who do more, who want to connect more, who want to grow more, will be given more. And I could see it from the other side too, that like, oh no, this is not fair. Everyone should be given the same.
Everything is energy. When you put your energy into something, it will expand and grow and go and do and be. Whether it's good or bad matters not. So be very careful where you're placing your energy.
Yes.
But, they who choose to do nothing are energetically bereft. Is that a word? I think so.
Without a breath?
Well, they're without. They have no energy. They have no energy to move forward. Yeah.
And maybe this is like one of Newton's laws of physics that was understood back in Jesus' time.
There's so much that was lost from back in the day, and there's so many people out there now who are literally going back to the cuneiform and what did you write on the
stone tablets, the papyrus,
the papyrus, and all of that, and looking at them and having them, what's written in Greek and then it's translated into English. There's so much lost. Because a Greek word and an English word may not mean the same thing, but it goes down anyway. And there's so many people who have gone back to figure out what the actual intent is, that it's opened up the whole world. But
that's why language makes it so difficult to have a literal understanding of what the Bible was, because it's been translated so many times, and there's only so many scholars who understand Greek or Roman and I guess that's why just the metaphysical interpretation of the Bible or just the world in general resonates more with me than a literal translation, because a literal translation is only understood by the one sole person right there, which can be powerful. That's our one truth. But a metaphysical truth allows us all to kind of share in that mutual understanding of what it is.
Wow. That's part of the exponential human awareness, the expansion. Again. Wow. The metaphysical aspect of understanding the different parables and things in the Bible. By going to that which, metaphysical, of course, means that which is above the physical. Mm-hmm. Okay. That opens up a whole new genre of thought, because it can expand and take us on a journey to a place we never even thought of.
And I understand that's the reason that it can cause fear, because as humans, we like truth, we like absolutism, and we like to know exactly how things should be whenever it becomes opened up to being able to see different ways of multiple truths coexisting. That could be a different thought, a new thought.
Absolutely. And, we're going to fall back to the original, how it was said and interpreted and put to us for how many hundreds of years, and suddenly we find out that might not even be truth. Mm-hmm. That is very fearful. That will catch you right in the gut and freeze people right where they're at. But let that not be fear. Don't call that fear. Okay. Call that an exponential moment in time where you sought truth.
Yes.
Take fear out of your existence, because either we trust God or we don't. Mm-hmm. God and fear, they can't be in the same sentence.
You can't.
So, we're kind of expanding all over the place here with this subject that we're talking about. But, we always fall back to being fearful. I want more than anything, in a moment that catches you off guard, to not be instantly fearful. I want you to go to that metaphysical place where you can be up above what is going on and look at it from all angles. Walk backward in people's shoes or through the circumstances and figure out, what is this actually bringing to me right now? I don't need to be afraid.
Wow, that reminds me of like a superhero's ability to stop time in a moment and just to freeze everything, and for them just to walk around and just like, look, oh, I see this.
Exactly.
I see that. Oh, I see what's happening down there, and you're able to see it from all angles. It's It's a really freeing thought that you can do that, and I think everyone has the ability to do that. Sometimes we have to move past our own. I don't know. I want to say beliefs, our own understanding, our own. Because beliefs are more than a simple one moment thing.
True.
Beliefs are a combination of many moments that help us understand how this life is. Just a metaphysical awareness of things just helps to allow us to be more open-minded and see different perspectives.
Allow yourself to look at all the possibilities. Is this happening? Is this my truth? Is this truly going to harm me? Or is this causing a knee-jerk reaction and fear in my stomach because this is unknown territory? Mm-hmm. So therefore I've got to be afraid. No, you don't. No, you don't. In the times that you don't know, you're ready to grow. That's when you have got to trust God to take you on your journey. Pull over and let God drive. And then go and expand and be and know. But do not live in fear anymore.
And it's understandable and natural to feel uncomfortability in terms of growth. Whenever we're growing, whether it's outgrowing our shoes start feeling too tight on our feet, and all of a sudden we gotta grow that, or outgrowing a old belief.
Yes, it's rough. It's hard. I'm not going to say it's easy to move from being one way and having all of this, been your experience your whole life, and then all of a sudden you're given another way of looking at things. I'm just saying, be open to the possibility that there's a whole heck of a lot that you don't know yet. Don't put fear over it. Be brave. Be like Superman and fly over the fear and go to the other side and wait for it to come. Wait for the situation to come to you, and you will see there was no reason for fear in the first place.
I forget if it's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, or if it's something else, to where people have the mindset of that they think that they know more about a subject material rather than what actually is. So if they think that the subject material is only yay big as opposed to this big, then they feel that they have like I know everything about it.
They're the scholars. Yeah.
Yeah, so it can be limiting to think that you know the most about any given subject, because the universe is so much more vast than our human minds can understand and perceive, and we are growing. We're becoming more conscious, and I think a lot of us have heard the term that like our brains are only firing at 10% of like what it's able to do. Mm-hmm. That's just our human brain. What about a more powerful brain? So I think it's important to have beliefs. Beliefs shape who we are and how we act, and morals. But I think it's also important to understand that there could be more out there that we have not considered or understand, and to be open to other possibilities too.
It's like beliefs can grow too.
They can, yeah. They can evolve over time.
Allow your everything. Ever since we talked about expansion, it's interesting to me how everything can expand if we will allow it to. And allowing it is the big part.
Yes.
Because of the FEAR of the unknown.
Yes.
And there we went full circle again.
Comes always around to that. And that might be the opposite of fear, is allowing.
Yeah, could be.
Huh.
You know, in a time of fear, I love your superheroes synopsis here, but in a time of fear, put on the Superman cape and just fly over it. Just go ahead and fly over it and wait to see what comes. Instead of being afraid of it in the moment, fly over the top of it and allow whatever's going to unfold without you having to call it fearful or name it any other kind of a thing. Put your super cape on and watch how your life becomes so much more peaceful.
Oof. Peace is something that I definitely value in my life.
Me too.
I think besides that, freedom and peace are two of the strongest values, at least that align for myself. So
yeah,
it really resonated what you said just then.
Good. You know, we never... I have to laugh. When we laugh at this a lot is, you know, we start with a subject and we are off into the ethers. We never know what's going to come through and what we're going to talk about.
Especially with this specific episode. We had a little discussion about that before.
Right. I mean, it's kind of vast. But, you know, everything at the end of the day comes back to God.
Yeah.
And allowing God to lead you through your life. If you can do that no matter what is going on around you, considering we've just had elections, regarding whatever is going on around you, whether you liked it or you did not like it, it doesn't matter. Let God take the wheel. Trust that God has this well in hand.
And also trusting that the way that God may lead yourself may not be the same way that God leads another person.
Oh, gosh. We're getting, oh, yeah. That's a whole nother can of worms. Sure. You know, God may, okay. A situation may look very dire or sad or bad or whatever, but I need to specify that these bad, sad, dire times are simply stepping stones to the higher awareness. Mm-hmm. You have to have good and bad. We've got to be in balance. We can't constantly have good, because then there's no expansion. So in the times where things go completely off track of what you expected things to happen, know that this is just a time of growth. You're having growing pains. Mm-hmm. Just grow. Forget the pain. Allow God to take it and don't attach any emotional anything to it. Just let God take it and watch. Watch what happens next.
So I recently started teaching a upper level music theory course, and sometimes getting to the answers is not as clear as some of the lower level music theory courses of there's only one correct way to get there. And an analogy that I like to tell my students is sometimes making these compositional choices or these theoretical choices, you have to take a step ahead only to realize you have to take 3 steps back. It's kind of like playing a chess game or Sudoku, and it's a higher level of thinking. And I like to think as human beings where we're at this point, we are at that higher level of growth and thinking, and sometimes taking that one step forward that you might think might get to that solution might require you to take a couple steps back in order to get forward again.
Right.
So
the step forward may be full of information that you don't quite grasp. So we have to go back a few steps to expand our minds around the whole thing Yeah, perfect synopsis there. I like that. Thank you. Very well done.
I think Ladybug likes that too.
Do you hear her? She's singing over there. She's snoring.
She's a Snorosaurus. We love her though.
She's our executive producer, is Ladybug.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about a whole bunch. I know we had to take a couple of breaks due to technical difficulties, but cool. Thank you for being open, for sharing about what it is on your journey of being a medium. And I think this is a conversation that we could definitely continue on in future episodes. I would imagine that our audience is going to have questions and comments about that. So
I welcome them. Your questions and your comments can only help me grow and gain information that I may not have right now. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. We are learning and growing along with you. And on this journey, whether you consider yourself a medium or not, I do not consider myself a medium, but I do consider myself a seeker.
Seek and ye shall find. And you know what? Eventually, if you are a medium, it's in there. I think we're all probably mediums, but everybody's life is different with each incarnation. So just be open to receive.
Be open to receive.
And that's the best you can be in this life.
Yeah. Be open to receive, and then take the steps to move forward, because if you take those steps to move forward, you will be given even more steps to move forward. But if you stay in the mud, stuck there, then you are not likely going to be given more steps to move forward. So, take that leap of faith, and we love you guys. And
absolutely wonderful. Here comes our prayer.
That's right, for protection.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen.
Amen. We'll see you next time for episode 15.
Yay.
Take care until then.
Bye-bye.